Okay, we got all the tape peeled off the truck. Been a slow drying process with the temperatures here in December. The clear coat, if you push hard enough right now, you can put a fingerprint in it. But it is dry enough to cut. And I've started here with a 1500 grit. And you can see, you know, some of the trash, but it's cutting out. What I'm gonna do is a 1500, 2000, 25, and then a 3000. But I'm gonna start here with a 15 and go all over the truck. I also had some runs that I was able to successfully cut out without screwing anything up. There was a drip here, a pretty good little thick run. I'd estimate these runs were probably a 1/16 of an inch thick, maybe a little thicker. So I used a 600 grit to, and that ain't perfectly smooth, but I'm gonna go back over it with a finer grit and get it perfected. But I'll use the 600 to take the runs out with. That's the first time I've actually ever used a 600 to cut runs. I've usually used a 1000 or 15, but it just takes too much time. These runs were way too thick to use a finer grit, so the 600 worked out great. You'll notice in my previous few videos I pointed out the runs in this truck. If you want to go back and review that, you will see probably not as much in the video as I seen in person, but you'll see how the runs were. They were pretty good, really thick drips here. And as you can see, they're gone. So there's also a little bit of a issue here, but of course that's not going to be saw too bad. This I tested to see if it was dry enough, and it wasn't. So you always want to test to make sure the clear is ready. Test it in an inconspicuous area, and if it kind of gums up or tries to like flake a little bit even on the paper or smudge, you know it's not dry enough. So but that's that. The orange peel, pretty normal I'd say for high volume low pressure spray. If this was not the type of paint job that we're shooting for here, if this was a later model vehicle, somebody wasn't paying this type of money to get done, this paint laid plenty well enough just to nib the trash out and send it on its way. Most paint jobs you see a lot, even at car shows with some nicer cars, they were never color sanded, clear cut with sandpaper and buffed, not color sanded. That's a term used for single stage paint. You know, it's pretty good reflection, but this thing will be like an absolute mirror when it's done. I was pretty happy overall, besides the runs, the way it turned out. There's the roof. But back to this sanding here. Like I say, I'm gonna start with a 15 and I'm gonna go from there. But basically, you know, you want to keep your surface wet, but you know, you just take a 1500 and like that and do whatever. But you want to make sure it's wet. Another trick is use a little Dawn dish soap to make it more slick. It'll keep your paper from grabbing and yanking and hurting your hand, or worse yet, digging into the paint. It's just a little trick that I've seen that works out pretty good. So anyway, here is the truck painted, and the next few series of videos I will be talking more about the cutting and then the buffing. Happy New Year.